process. So yes, we have GMs, Ford, and Chrysler, but recently, earlier this year, we added Hyundai, and we are in discussions with few other organizations to be part of it. But also not only United Technologies, another organization, not only original manufacturers organizations are part of it, but First Tier and other manufacturers are part of it. Entrepreneurs are part of it, so the list has grown and continues to grow. This is really a snapshot of who we are in the core of what we do. And although we now have some medical device companies and we have some even furniture companies part of the system, it continues to grow. And what we're learning is people are interested in open innovation. And our approach is a little bit different. In the past, it used to be, I make things for automotive, I want to license it to another automotive. So diversification meant I make it for GM, I can make it for Ford. Well, with the new methodology and the new tools that are available, if you could make it for Ford and GM and Chrysler, you could make it maybe for Boeing. Maybe you could make something for a medical device company. And that's the concept of how we look at things. And some of the times we get people to say that's really out there. And that's true, okay? We just recently reached out to some of the companies that had nothing to do with automotive in the cybersecurity arena. And they all work only in cybersecurity and said, we want you to bring your technologies to the car companies. And the initial reaction from the cybersecurity companies was like, wait, they're automotive are not cybersecurity companies, why would I want to come talk to them? Well, because car companies are moving towards cybersecurity and they should learn about your technology. So it's a new way of approaching things, and it seems to get some momentum from people who want to really make it happen. So it's really exciting to see. How does it work? It's really simple. As I stated earlier, you list the technology, you could tell the people what you're looking for, or you could tell the world what you have to offer, or you can say, I am a place that could help you research and develop it, or we include you as part of our innovation hub. So if you have something that you think is valuable and you want to be able to share it, you could talk to us about that, and we're happy to see how we could position you. You know, the culture of smart tools has grown for us. And here's a snapshot of who's in the smart tools that we have. Of course, W2IP is one of the smart tools that you have access to working with AutoHarvest, but so is the Patent Office, so is IAM, so is SRR, and these are just other names and terminology that most of you are familiar with. So we have been able to gather these smart tools to say, hey, you are interested in intellectual property, we could help you get there. We know we're not the only place, as Gordon stated earlier. It's a somewhat confusing marketplace. Everybody's in it. We're more a focused niche, but this could help also the cause of you expediting your intellectual or IP, moving to the market faster. One example I want to talk about in our innovation, that one of the success stories, and some of the companies choose not to share stories with us, some of the companies choose to share the stories with us, was the invention of seatbelt, okay, inflammable seatbelt. Ford and United Technologies worked on it and they found each other, although they might know each other from offline, they found each other online through our platform. And they were able to do a licensing agreement, a transaction, happen through AutoHarvest. So we always tell people AutoHarvest is designed for you to make a connection. You could take it to first date per se. You could create a collaborative room where you could talk to that individual privately. But once you get to serious talks, you should move it out of AutoHarvest to your normal protocol of licensings and so on. There is a nice little video from Ford and United Technologies discussing how they found each other and this specific technology on our website. I encourage you to take a look at it. It's maybe like a 2-minute clip, but talking about how they found each other and how AutoHarvest was kind of like the neutral platform where they were able to find and license, technology from each other. Here are some of the things that were said about that. So I don't want to go through that with you. Since it's available on the website, you could really read more about it. But the benefits of AutoHarvest and other tools like AutoHarvest is really to be the way to commercialize your intellectual property in a faster speed, okay? In a also unique speed. Part of it, as we said earlier, is knowing what's out there. So before you develop something, you want to research it. Well, we have over 90,000 technologies listed. Now, I can't guarantee you'll find everything, but you could search a couple of keywords and find what's out there. You might find someone that might be interested in talking to you and saying, I'm looking actually to collaborate on how to invent better battery storage while the car is being parked, or the train is being parked, or whatever your next invention is. And those kinds of tools are available and benefits from AutoHarvest. How does AutoHarvest work? If you want to think of Amazon or Alibaba of the world, except it's just for intellectual property. You list them, you find people, and you work on it and you collaborate. And that's pretty much really what I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to give you a little bit of time so we could have a bigger discussion, since many of the things we really touched on earlier. So to obtain a login and sign up to the system, just send me a note or go to the website and you could join. And I have the power, per se, to approve you so you could use and play with no cost to you with the system for now. With that being said, I thank you for the opportunity and look forward to having a discussion with you.
Thank you, Faris. Like you said, as far as we know, that a company like CSR have already adopted their latest technology from the high-speed railway train, then to some core manning locomotives or monorails. So it's another example of what you said, right? Okay. Also, I would like to thank you for putting some Chinese contents. All right. So is there anybody who would like to ask the question first? Or I have to... Is anybody have questions?
Come on, guys. We know we're standing between you and drinks, but you're not going to get there unless you ask a question.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Mr. Pooling, please.
Yeah. Gordon, in your presentation, you brought up the fact that there are a number of existing organizations or entities that purport to bring people together who are interested in IP transactions. You mentioned it as sort of, we have a problem. And I'd be interested in your saying more and hearing more from the other panelists too about whether or not the existing organizations, entities, and so forth represent experiments that are going to come together at some point. Are we still in the search for the perfect model, or is there a variety of models that we can use for different purposes? I'd be interested in everybody's views on that.
Well, let me kick it off and pass it along. First of all, of course, the real answer for this comes from those organizations concerned. But my thoughts on it are, first of all, I said we have a problem, but of course it's also an opportunity. So it depends how we take it. These organizations, many of them grew up for different reasons. The European Enterprise Network grew up out of a governmental desire to socially empower SMEs. Yet2.com is a commercial organization designed to transact technologies. You look at each one, there's a different reason. Some of them are transactional units, some of them are actually acquiring technology and IP, bringing it to fruition and trying to sell it on. So what we have here is, it's not an experiment, it's just an evolution of how this is playing out on the ground. My thought on why can it be a problem is it's very much a diverse patchwork. There are probably over 1,000 such organizations on the face of the earth today. How do we talk to each of them? How do we know what's available? I think of it like Forrest Gump's box of chocolates, but we can only see 1 or 2 of the 205 chocolates in the box.
Faris, do you agree, or you have something to add on?
Well, from an auto harvest perspective, in almost 2008, from a transactional procedure, the intellectual property marketplace was somewhat limited. Most of the other marketplaces that were available before, yes, they were driven by different purposes for different reasons, such as the iHub, which was innovated for universities to list their technologies on it. We felt at the time, and we see now more of these companies popping up, to your point, Gordon, that it is a growing need. I think, as we stated earlier, I think it was Mr. Bone talking about more transactions going to happen. This will be the new commodity as it's growing. I think different people and different organizations are somewhat experiencing with which tool to use, what's out there, and it's an opportunity in a way, and in the same time it's confusing for the users. So if I'm an organization, I'm Dell, I'm GM, I'm whoever that is, where do I list my technology? Who do I talk to? How much time can I really spend on each one of these portals? I think as we shift from this high-level IP idea to a more transactional idea, more and more of these organizations will shift their resources to say, I need a team to work this portal, or I'm willing to pay a fee for someone to work this portal and make it happen. And we're already starting to see that happen in some of these organizations, where they might say, I'm happy to pay the membership fee, but can you deploy 2 people to work on it? Can I pay you more so you could just get people to harvest the technology? And we do that. And we're seeing more and more of that. And I think as we continue to shift to transaction and becomes like, it's like buying a remote control or a clicker, buying an IP is just part of what you do. I think we'll see more of these things happen, and I do believe more of them will merge. And we're starting to see some of that now, where they're negotiating, how can I access your portal? We've had several of those discussions at Auto Harvest ourselves, where they're saying, we have a portal, you have a portal, yours is a little bit different than ours. How can we pay you or pay you out or pay you in to help us make ours better? So I think it's a growing, beautiful thing. So it's exciting to be part of it.
Susan, do you have something to add on?
Yeah, I think that we've been at this long enough now that we should really begin standardizing the way some of these things actually appear. And what we found here in the States is that initially a lot of these sites just allowed the sellers to put up whatever they wanted and people could search that. It turns out that's not what buyers want, because it wastes their time. It's hard to find stuff. So certainly what we did with patent transactions was we standardized the information that buyers wanted. We had to educate sellers, we had to educate brokers, we had to require buyers to ask for certain things. And I think even with tech transfer deals, it may vary by industry, but each industry has a very good sense of what they want and how they want to search. And so I think we'll see some consolidation. I think we need to see a lot of standardization, and we need to train, I think, buyers, because it's a smaller number than sellers. We need to train them how to interface with sellers when they appear, or how they want them to interface with them. And I think that should help eliminate some of the confusion.
Thank you. One of the reasons we put together this forum with WTOIP was there is a big need